give Angela a minute.
Yeah. Tom Shevlin's father's funeral was this morning, and I don't think he's going to be in attendance either. So Laura's hosting the meeting. Yeah.
Such a shame.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Can I show off my button? Oh, I need to reverse my screen, don't I?
No, we can read it.
Backwards. No, is it right?
It's right.
Okay.
Or at least it is on mine.
Okay. Lynn, where are you?
Where am I? I'm in my backyard.
Okay.
Well, you know what? There's not much. Maybe if I sat over here, you'd have more sun.
No, you look great. I just didn't.
Yeah, I'm on my patio. I don't know. Is that better? No, that's worse.
Okay. Justin, where are you?
He's in Lisbon.
I think I'm in Lisbon. I'll look it up later. I just changed my name to, Justin the Wonderful.
I did see that.
But tomorrow night, when we do, or whenever, whoever's going to be in the forum, we'll have to, we'll decide the order in which people are going to participate. And then in order for the people to keep track of it, we're going to have to change our names, like from Justin Speaker 1 or Speaker 6, so that we won't lose track of the order in which people, because we won't be in the order on the screen in front of us. So
but that's why there's a moderator.
Right, but
she has to keep track.
The moderator was concerned that we might get confused. So I didn't know that we could do this, but now that I do, I'm just testing.
So you're doing yours tomorrow?
Yeah. Did you do your thing today, Lynn?
Yeah, I did.
It wasn't
new.
It wasn't advertised. I didn't see the link in his.
Yeah, the link is there.
Yeah, but during his daily message, I didn't see it, so I'll have to go back.
Well, you can watch a repeat.
Yeah. All right. Well, we can just get started. If I don't know, Joe's gonna sit back down.
Damn dogs. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. Good afternoon. If you wish me to start, I can start.
Yeah, please go ahead, Joe.
Joe Nicholson, City Manager. I think one of the most important things that could come out of today, I think, is that we change the meeting, and that we change it to Wednesday because the governor's presser is on Wednesday. The weekly meeting with the Rhode Island League of the Cities and Towns is on Wednesday, and the weekly call with the governor's office is on Wednesday. And indeed,
that's when they update the numbers too.
And that's when they update the numbers. On the other hand, well, so that's what I'm recommending. Though I do have some internal numbers that they're spitting out to us now, which I'm trying to make some sense of them. And I'll just tell you what I looked at this morning on the internal numbers that they're providing, and they're trying to iron out some new systems here. And I think I've made some sense of it, but the 3-day average as of 8/16 for Newport on the numbers is 0. And that 0 goes back to 3-day average goes back to 8/5 if you run the charts back. I think that's a good sign, but we'll see what comes out of tomorrow's update. Again, I do notice if you scroll through all the data, you do notice some inconsistencies. If you go to the zip code data, our numbers are lower. I think 121 versus 130. But I guess that doesn't matter in the final analysis. Number of people hospitalized in Rhode Island as of today is 78. The 3-day average is 82. There's 8 people in ICU, 4 people on ventilators. And one of the things that I'm intrigued by is that I wanted to point out to you, and I'm just going to point it out to you, is that when they do the data table on the rate of COVID-19 cases per 100,000 population, I'm only mentioning it because I think while we're a small state, it's also interesting how the various communities compare. So Central Falls, for example, they would say the metric per 100,000 is 175 cases per 100,000. 124 for Providence, 100 for Cranston, 20 for Newport. Same minimal amounts for Middletown, same minimal amounts per 100,000 for Portsmouth. Our running number, of course, stands at 130, and having one case is no good. But I think within the context of that, we're doing pretty well here on Aquidneck Island, and it's just knocking on woods and it's walking on eggs, since the communities are different, but we're so close together that anything's possible with these problems. And I think so. The most important thing to come out today again is that, and we keep mentioning it, is the issue of masks. The volunteers are out there. We had staff members out there last Friday handing out masks, and just continue to push that messaging, continue to push the masks out there and encouraging people to wear masks, particularly in our more denser, our mandatory areas, if you will. Probably the most important thing we can do locally, and I think you all would share in that message. And the volunteers are still doing bang up work. Of course, it was an off weekend last weekend with the weather, but we were out in force on Friday with material and messaging, and we still have the police loudspeaker going, taking the swipe up and down America's Cup Avenue about masks. And so it's hopefully the numbers are reflective of those types of small efforts. And it's just a matter of that the plan is to continue to push those efforts. I got a couple other more signage. We keep pushing the signage out. Got a couple other tactics up our sleeve that we're going to maybe try to enhance. I think I've got some more employees that are going to push out there and volunteer. So I think all in all, things are going well in that regard. So that's
Joe,
what I have on masks. Yes.
On the masks, I got a lot of good feedback over the past 2 or so weeks about the increase in people wearing masks in the city, and a lot of residents reaching out to say that they've seen a really good increase in people wearing masks out and about. So I just thought that was good one to share.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I think people, generally look at whether it's the tourists or whether they're, are very astute residents. I think people, at least that are visiting here and our residents, they certainly get it. And the residents are the ones that lead the way in terms of being demonstrative in terms of their wearing masks, all the time. And so it's a good show. And I think you guys, as the representative of the people, should be proud of your efforts and the efforts of your constituents, because I find it very encouraging, quite frankly, at least in the context of that exercise. So I can move on a couple other issues, if you will, Susan.
I was just going to add that we have a couple of volunteers who are coming from other municipalities to check out how we're doing it. And they've spent, I think, 3 shifts altogether.
Yeah, sure, they have, yeah, which is kind of interesting that they came here to help us out. So we can always use more people on the street. I have these new postcards that are printed up that I plan on handing out personally this weekend with an escort. It says on one side, wear your mask, and the other side, it's the magic side. And I'm gonna do it as a magic trick, and you flip it over, it's a $100 fine. So hopefully we can just further encourage people just to, wear masks. But it's a good site if you're downtown in Newport. We've come, 1,000 yards since where we started. I don't know, maybe just 2 months ago. I'm losing track of time on this stuff, but
more than 2 months.
Right, more than 2 months, I guess, sure. And I've got 3,000 masks left because we've given out about 1,000 of the cloth ones. And again, we have a commitment for another 8,000 from the state of these cloth masks, and they're pretty nice masks. They can be washed up to 15 times. They're not the disposable ones. So if you know anyone that needs them, we'll get them to them. Any Newport resident that needs them, anywhere, we'll get them to them. So with that said, I know you're always interested in how the beaches are doing. I think the beaches are doing great. We showed the drone footage last time we were here, and of course, you know, we had the reprieve last weekend because of the rain. We're in good shape, and we're not seeing any, you know, any issues with regard to either beach, quite frankly. The trash issue, which was, you know, ever present on our mind, and continues to be something that we're always concerned about, seems to be lessened. It's always concerned when you see something sticking out of one of those big bellies, that whether they're full or not. But we seem to be on top of it. If you notice the big bellies, by the way, we have signage on the side of the big bellies now that talks about masks on both sides. Good one. There's one out in front of City Hall if you want to take a look at it if you missed it. But yeah, I think we've got that. Again, just keep my fingers crossed. We've got it under control. I'm hoping that the numbers tomorrow are reflective of what I mentioned earlier about the 3-day average, and so you can make some sense out of the two of them. Because the interesting thing about that metric, the 3-day average, and that internal information is you can almost see you can almost see, and I can't conclusively say this, but you can almost see where you get, you know, what weekends you can get the cases from. You know, the July 4th weekend, it seemed like there was and soon thereafter, a handful of cases. Same thing with Memorial Day in some respects. So, which I think is telling in terms of what we can do as a community to maybe fight this thing. So that's really all I have this evening, and I think it'll be helpful again if we switch these meetings, the off-week meetings, to Wednesday, just because of all the information that comes out of the governor's press conferences, as well as the other two meetings that we're on a weekly basis. Because we're actually missing, you know, we're missing that day. So that this Tuesday meeting is really reflective of last Wednesday's data in many respects that I've already passed along and the information. So so hopefully I can give you a little fresher perspective if we have on the off week a Wednesday meeting based upon the governor's what the governor is seeing or her office is seeing, plus the other entities that we have these discussions with.
Thanks, Joe. Lynn, I see that you have your hand up.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about zoning and the HDC. I know we've had these
Right.
sort of discussions before about these quasi-judicial boards and their ability to function with Zoom. I had a conversation with someone on the zoning board, and he's saying that they're getting backed up like 60 or 70 petitions. And I know that they can go through the abbreviated petitions and the summaries, okay, but it's the full ones that are getting backed up. Is there anything we can do, or have we gotten any idea about how we can actually conduct those meetings?
Well, I'm going to turn this over. I know Gerard and Chris have been having those discussions. I've been on the peripheral of those discussions, but can you guys add anything to that, to Lynn's question, please?
I'll let Gerard first speak to the zoning board because he's involved with that, and then I'll answer the questions on the HTC.
Okay.
I have been in touch with Guy and Chuck Allett, who's the acting chair. With it now being, I think, fairly apparent that we're going to be in this mode for some period of time, we are looking at starting to have full hearings. We are going to begin by trying to find matters that have objection, but hopefully matters with maybe one objector, or smaller matters, as opposed to those that are have a huge number of objectors who may all be trying to participate and submit their own evidence, and try to grow into the fully functioning full hearing. So we are going to start that process. We have been communicating about how to do that.
Okay.
and looking to try to start ramping up.
Okay, great. That's good news because from what I understand, there are a lot of petitions that have been backed up. So if there's like one objector, maybe that objector could email in something and.
Yes, and we're going to ask, number one, the applicant to sort of assent to proceeding in a full hearing, knowing that there are these risks out there relating to open meetings. And so we'll want them to declare to us that they want to proceed in this format. And then we'll ask any objectors we know about to submit any evidence that they have or exhibits in advance.
Mhm.
And we're going to have to be prepared for the fact that somebody could show up for the first time on the night of. And if that's the case, if there's new information or new exhibits, we'll probably have to continue that matter again, get the information in and schedule it for a later date. And I think that's all we can do. So that's how we're looking at it right now.
Okay, as long as we can get some of them off our plates, that would be really nice.
Yeah.
Or your plate.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, the problems you're gonna have is the bigger petitions like the hotels on Waits Wharf. I believe there's one proposed for Lee's Wharf. They're gonna have to wait, and more than likely, they're gonna have to wait till probably the beginning of next year, only because of the timing. When you start getting to November, December, the zoning board doesn't meet in December. They have 2 meetings in January. So you're probably looking for anything that is with a lot of people involved, a lot of public interest is going to be into next year. The other thing, I think the HDC is pretty good. Andy Bork is very good. I mean, he's very astute at the Zoom meetings. He does a lot of them for his work. So I think that's going well. They don't have the caseload that the zoning board has, but still think that's going well. And I think it's going fairly well with the planning board, although they're held up on the Waits Wharf demolition permit for the same reason, is just too many people interested in it. And that actually calls for a public hearing.
Okay. The one other question I have, which is sort of COVID election question, is I've gotten a couple of messages about the drop box on Bull Street, not knowing if that's really where ballots should be dropped. I think people are, because of all the news and everything, they're afraid of mailing things. So is there a way to say this is where you drop your ballot on that drop box, if that's the way they want to do it? Okay.
You just said it, but we can push out information on
Right.
it. I mean, anyone that asks me when I'm out there, someone asked me today, I said, yes, just put it in there, because they check. Tracy Nelson's running up and down the stairs literally every 4 minutes
Mhm.
and emptying that
Okay.
box.
But if you put a
Can we
sign,
have
Push out better
signage?
info.
yeah, if
Yes.
you
Yeah.
put some signage there, that would be
Yes.
helpful.
Yes,
Thanks.
I know a lot of people are very nervous about the mail right now, so
understood.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll take care of it.
Okay.
I wanted to
Thanks.
mention, just along the lines of your the question you asked about HDC and zoning, just to let you know that probate court is operating, and the municipal court will be operating soon enough, based upon a probate court submitted a very good COVID plan of operation, and I expect the municipal court to mimic it. They'll run out of the basement here, literally,
Mhm.
and in person, and they'll proceed and get their business done. Probate court started, I think, August 14th last week.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Thanks. Susan, did you have something? I saw your hand go up and down.
Well, I'll repeat it just for the sake of repeating it, just to get some signage on the drop box that this is where your
Yeah.
mail-in application would have gone today, and where your ballot goes.
And I see that we've had actually a few folks that are attending have their hands up. Can we open it up so that we can take in public comment?
Looks like Jay Marola. You could unmute yourself.
You have to unmute and then you should be able to comment.
All right.
If you're on Zoom, Jim, the button to unmute is on the bottom left. Why don't we move on for now to the next person?
It looks like Jane Burrows.
Jane Barrows, are you able to speak? I don't know why it doesn't look like she's moving into being able to be heard.
Want to try the next one? It doesn't show that she's on mute.
Sure. Let's try the next one.
Jean Parati.
I think you, okay.
Try that.
Yeah, Jean Parati, if you can unmute yourself, then.
No, I didn't want to speak. I'm sorry if I had my hand up.
It's
I'm
okay,
sorry.
thank you.
All right, let me try something with Jim Arola. Still on mute.
Yeah, James, are you able to unmute yourself? Okay, it looks like I don't think it's going to work out for.
Do our participants have the chat option to ask a question?
No.
So if you were on tonight and you did want to ask a question or make a comment, you can email us and get in touch with us that way. And we can either try to find you an answer or just hear what you wanted to say. If there was nothing else from the council, then I think that we could probably wrap up.
So next, we're going to do this. I guess I could ask you next Wednesday, but we're going to, on the off day, going to do the Wednesdays, right?
Yeah, I think so. And I don't think we have to take a vote or anything on that.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.